First topic: NFL MVP. I can't lie to you. It's been a lot of big time players this year. Derrick Henry starting out the season until he got hurt. Jonathan Taylor he had a strong middle of the pack season, and like recently he's kind of slowed down a little bit. But Cooper Cup still balling out of control. They say, oh well, he's a product of his environment, but almost 2,000 receiving yards. Like, come on, man. You got to get a man his credit. You got to give him his credit. Even after Robert Woods went down, they're still very productive, or at least he is. Um, I can't lie to you, man. I think this year, if it wasn't a quarterback award, it should definitely go to Cooper Cup. But since it is a quarterback's award, I, Aaron Rodgers, you can't knock the stats, man. 4 interceptions in a 17 game season. 4.
Yeah, I mean the guy. It's great because he's been playing with that's what's great about the Packers. They play with the same team year in year out. They don't make a ton of changes,
Yeah, 100%.
right? And so there's consistency. There's a little bit of I know where my guy's going to be. I know what Devontae Adams is going to do on this play. Like, whereas a lot of teams don't have that, right? They've been playing with guys 1 year, 2 years. They're still learning players after all this time, and Aaron Rodgers is great. That's but still, like, consistency is a beautiful thing in sports, when you're great and you're consistent. So, I mean, yeah, four touchdowns. Now, again, I don't know, he's not really balling out this week or nothing like that. So I would say, but still, yeah, interception through the first 16 games. I mean, that's impressive, no matter when you do it.
I'll probably say this is the first time where we actually all agreeing on something for real. Like Nico said, bro, if it wasn't a quarterback league, I'd definitely be picking Cooper Cup for sure. Like I said, to be leading the league in receptions, I think it's touchdowns and yards as well. I don't think nobody's did that since, like, was it Randy Moss or maybe Jerry Rice, maybe. So it's been a while since receivers did that.
Maybe Calvin Johnson, but
maybe Calvin Johnson. But
Yeah.
pretty much my point is it has been a while since a receiver has led all three categories. But
yeah.
honestly, I have to say Aaron Rodgers as well. Like I said, only had 4 interceptions throughout 17 weeks. I think he hasn't had any 10 plus turnovers in like the last 10 years, honestly. Or
that's big.
That's
real.
real
That's
big.
how you
I mean,
keep your
that's
teams
elite.
in games, and
That's elite. And like I said, he got 977 yards, 35 touchdown passes with a 111 passer rating. So, I mean,
I will say though, I mean, Brady does have 1,000 yards more than him, which is impressive.
He does, but
Yeah.
I was going to say Brady has more. Brady started the season with more weapons, but I mean, he still kind of does have more weapons than Aaron Rodgers. But I still feel like with Aaron Rodgers only having Devontae Adams and barely, I think it was I forgot the running back's name, Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Only have one elite wide receiver compared to Brady, who has 4 or 5. I mean, you got to get a man his props since what he did throughout the season. You got to give him the MVP 2 years running. So I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. That's a bad man right there, man.
Yeah, if the Colts hadn't, man, if the Colts would have given Jonathan Taylor the ball in those first 3 weeks, whatever it was, 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it was, like I think he might be almost a runaway with this. If he would be closing on 2,000 by now. But because of that start, where I think they started out 1-3 or 0-3, and they gave him like 10 touches and just, I think that wasn't on him, man. I think this one got robbed from him by the Colts because they didn't feed him the ball early and often. But at the same time, they have been losing as of late, couple here and there. So, their record in the NFL, you got to have a winning record to win MVP. And that being said, like, Rodgers has the best record and he's got, the best passer rating. Now, that being said, there's a lot of question, like, still, even though Brady, sure, he has weapons, like, he had to go out and hang all these points, right? His defense has been kind of rough this year compared to the Packers, who's actually been worse or better than we've seen in a long time, the Packers defense. So, there are a lot of you can always argue all these different things, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Rodgers. I think I know he had a thing with a guy here in Chicago, Hubarkis. They went back and forth for a minute, but I think I think a lot of people are going to see something like that and be like, man, now I kind of have to vote for him because I don't want to. I don't want to act like I'm on this train where I'm just not voting for him for certain reasons, but at the same time, I think he deserves the votes, no matter what. So I think he's going to win it this year, not by a landslide. I think some other guys might steal some votes, but I think he's definitely going to win it.
Yeah, I think as far as Rodgers go, man. Well, first Brady. I think the reason Brady has so many passing yards because he got a lot of mouths to feed. You got a lot of those guys on the Bucks got a lot of incentives they have to meet. So I think Antonio Brown was one. I think they say Grunt needs 2 more touchdowns and I want to say 50 more yards.
That's going to be tough to get.
Yeah, with 500 for $1 million worth of incentive, 500 each. So and then you got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Gronk, OJ Howard. You got a lot of mouths to feed over there.
Even though it was the Jets last week, it's still, even without those guys, he was able to come back. And that's still an impressive thing. I do think the Jets blew that game. They shot themselves in the foot, but still, he had to come back in that game. That's what's, one of the reasons people are still going to be listen, I know he had all these guys, but he would have won 11, 12 games even without him. That's the thing. His stats wouldn't be as good. But you have to also consider he leads the league in yards and touchdowns, but he also leads the league in pass attempts too. I mean, the dude is throwing 45 a game. So
they don't run the ball.
Yeah. So kudos to him for the season he's having. But yeah, it's got to go to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man, because if you think about it, Aaron Rodgers' interceptions is crazy. It's I think it's 1 interception every 4 games or something like that.
Something like that.
Think about how many passing plays and things that's crazy.
It just goes to show how poised he is, though, man. It's just how prepared he comes every Sunday, just to make sure that he's ready every Sunday, any given Sunday.
Mm-hmm. By the way, kudos to the other guys on that list. I mean, even Joe Burrow, I think, has made a lot of people's lists. He's probably not going to get a vote, but he's still, he's right there, man. So kudos to him. It's probably going to be his division for a couple of years, so kudos to him. Let's move on to some NBA.
Baker still at the QB, definitely is.
We'll see. Maybe the Browns make some changes.
Sure.
But let's
That's
move on.
What they said today.